In this video, we're going to take a look at the GDS Marine Services site. So I'm going to show you how to edit and update the different sections of your homepage and the different parts of your site. So in order to start, you'll go to your URL /wp-admin and you'll use the credentials that we've given you to log in. And then you'll be logged into the back end here, and the important thing to note is that everything that you need is over here in the left hand side in this column, in this black column, and you don't need anything over here. That's not really the important stuff. So I'm just going to work my way down through this list of stuff in the black column and explain what it is and how it works, and that should be what's helpful for you. So we'll start with updates. This is where your plugin updates or WordPress updates would be located. We do this regularly for all of our clients. We update all of our plugins since you're hosted through us, so you never ever have to worry about this. If you find that something on your site isn't functioning correctly, the first place to check is usually to see if there's an update. So we do this regularly for you, but there could be a gap in time between the updates, so they don't go very long without being updated, but it's possible that you could be working on something and one needs to be updated manually, and this is where you could go to update it. I'm not going to do that right now since we're working through this video and I just kind of want to show you how things work. Beneath that is posts. We just have this as a plugin on a lot of our sites if they wanted to write blog posts. That's not something you're currently doing. If you decide you'd like to create a blog and want to add content to that, we can talk about that and help you get that set up. Under media, this is where all of your media is located for your site. So any logos like you can see here, or any photos are located in the media library. Anytime that you need the media library, you'll have access to it within whatever other plugin or whatever other element you're using is. So you don't ever have to really go to the media library. But if, for instance, you needed to edit a photo, you could click on it, click edit image, and then you could rotate the image or crop the image if you needed to, and then click save and then update or create a different scaled image. You can do that here, but again, probably not super needed very often, but that's where that is, and that's what your media library is. Under forms, you have a contact form, and this is pretty intuitive, our forms plugin. So the elements you have now are name, phone, email, and notes. And if you want to edit what's already here, you just click on it and you can change the field label through here and click update if you make any changes. If you want to add any other additional fields, what you do is come over here, select whatever field you want to add, and it's going to show up at the bottom, and then you can drag it wherever you want it to go. And then if you click on this little arrow, then you can see the field label, so I can change that. Like I said, I can make any of this disappear if I don't want it there. I can make the fields required if I'd like them to be, or I can duplicate the field if I already have it there and I want to use it again, and then I can delete the field here, which is what I'm going to do. And once you make any changes that you want to keep, you'll want to click update. And you'll notice you can click on entries here or here, and this is where you can view whatever entries you have, and that looks like spam, and that looks like our test email. So if you have any entries, they would be located here, and you can view them by clicking on them, and then you can see the content of them. If you go to settings, which you can go settings here or settings here, under settings you want to look at notifications. This is where you can see where is my notification. So once this form is filled out, whose email is it going to? It looks like it's going to this email here. So if I want to change that, I would just edit the send to email and then click update notification. If you want to add additional notifications, what I would do is click duplicate and then edit it from here, and then change the name of it, and then change the send to email out here and click update notification. But since we don't need that, and I'll show you how to add a form within wherever you're looking to add a form in just a moment, but that's the main functions of the forms. Under pages, you only have your home page. We don't have any internal pages on your site. If you want to create an internal page, what you would do is click Add New, give your page a name, and then if you wanted the header to show up on the page, you could slide this over, and it's pretty self-explanatory, and then add a page section, and then this is where you'd add any of your information and click Publish. There may need to be some formatting on some of those inside pages, so if you end up adding a page and it doesn't look very good, you can let us know and we'll help you and kind of stylize and format that for you. So let's go back to pages and let's take a look at the home page, and I'm going to go over how to edit those items. So if you will look, this stuff here is done through widgets, so I'm going to talk about that in a minute. So everything that is on the home page starts here and below. So you have an image. This section title is just for your benefit, so you know what it is. If you go to background, you can see that there is an image set as the background, and it's set in the center. There is padding on it, and it's extra tall, and it's 100% width. And so you can click through each of these sections on each of the page sections, and you can see how it's set up. So basically all you'd ever have to change here if you wanted to change it out is the background photo, and either remove it or edit it and replace it. And then if you click this little arrow, it goes back to this smaller section, so you can kind of scroll through. If you want to add a new section, you add a row here like this, and it will show up in between the rows, and then you can remove it in the same way. So underneath that section, you see you've got this wording here, and if you want to edit it, all you'd have to do is type wherever you want to change it. We've got it set as heading 2, and it's centered. And again, this service areas part doesn't show up anywhere. That's just so that you know. If you go to background, there is nothing. There's no background because it's just white. We always click yes on padding so that the section goes all the way to the left and the right of the screen, and there's some space on either side of the words. So if you ever create a new section, you always want to make sure that it has padding, and then this particular section is extra short, as you can see in comparison to this section or this section. It's short. So after that, so up next is the About section, which is located here, and this functions kind of the same way. You've got this text in heading 1. You can edit any of the text that you'd like. You can bullet numbered list. You can align it differently. You can add a hyperlink to any external URL. You just paste it right there. And then if the background on this one will be just a little different. There's a picture, and then if you come down here, there's a color, and then you can adjust whatever color you want over the top and how opaque or transparent it is. And then again, under spacing, you have padding selected as yes, and then it's a full width section. And underneath that, you've got all these other sections, and again, they're gonna function the same way in that you can edit the text in any way that you'd like. And then in the background of this one, we just kind of have that gray color, and if you ever need to replicate that color, you can copy it from the code right there. And then under spacing, you'll see again padding is checked, and then it's a 50% width area, and then we've got those sections set as 540. And so it's important to note that then the section next to it will have to have that same height so that they sit next to each other, and you can see that through here, 540. And then the background on this one is just a slightly different gray color. And you can Google color codes. So if you want to change those colors, you can Google color codes and make them different. And beneath that is a Foo Gallery. So all that's here is short code for this Foo Gallery, and I'll show you as we work our way down how to edit the actual images within that Foo Gallery. And so there's really nothing you need to worry about there. The background again is a photo, and then it has this color, and you can, like I said, copy and paste that as you need. and that's a full width area. And then you go back to 2 more 50% areas, and you can see that same color is used as above. So if again, it's the same color. So if you want to change those out or anything like that, that's where that's located. And then those are 400 on the height for that one. You can see that it matches, and they have to match in order to sit side by side like that nicely. And then beneath that is your favorite links section, and that's going to be a full width section. There's no color, it's just white. And it's an extra short section as well, like the one above, so just kind of shorter. And if you need to edit the hyperlinks, like say these are no longer correct, then you can edit them and paste the new link there. And then anytime you make changes, make sure you come up here and click update. And if you want to add an additional section, you can do that like you did above, only you just added at the bottom. And then these can be rearranged and dragged to show up in a different order. But again, if they're going to be next to each other, they have to have that same height, and they have to be selected as 50%. So if you start dragging stuff around, it's probably not going to look exactly right, but if you do get it messed up, we can easily help you with that if you need help. Comments is next, and that would be like if you were adding a blog and allowing comments on it, which you're not and you don't have. So we'll just move past that onto Foo Gallery. And this is what I was just talking about, which creates that little section on the homepage with these logos. So if you click on it, you can see, I can come here, and the custom URL is the link that it links to. So if I click that little I, then I can change this out if I need to. And that works for any of them, the custom URL here. So if I need to add an additional one, come to add media, I'd select it, add the custom URL, and click select, and it's going to show up there. These are also draggable, so you can drag them. And if you need to delete them, you can just click that X. If you want to use this Foo Gallery somewhere else, the shortcode is right there. And then we've got all of the settings set up so that it looks nice. You can change the height or width or margins on any of that if you'd like. You can change the appearance of it or the hover effects. You can change any of that. So we have this little icon, but you could change it to any of those if you'd like. And then we have the thumbnail links to that custom URL, which is within each of these, and it links to the appropriate page where you want people to go. And that's mainly it for the Foo Gallery. If you make any changes, be sure to click update. Genesis is the theme of your site. Nothing we've got to talk about there. Under appearance, we'll want to talk about widgets and menus. And under widgets, we've got your logo at the top, which links. It doesn't link anywhere, but you don't have any internal pages, so you don't need to be guided back to the home page. So it's just got your image there. If you need to update this, you can choose image, and it will take you to your media library, and you can upload a new file where you can select that. And then your navigation menu. You have your main menu and your social media menu, and then that's added through there. Nothing in the sidebar that you need. We're not using that. And before header, this is what shows up right here, and because it's before the header. And so in Visual Editor, you can see we have your phone number, we have a link to your Facebook, and a contact us, which links to the footer down here. So if you need to edit any of this, if your Facebook URL changes, you can edit that. If your phone number changes, you can edit that. It's hyperlinked by just adding the letters TEL with a colon in front of it. And then I don't see any reason why you would want to change the contact us. If you created maybe an internal page where people could contact you, you could link that there. And then when you make any changes, the save button is in the bottom right hand corner. And under home top, we don't have anything else until you get down to the footer. These items are also found in widgets, and in footer 1 you have that contact us section. So we have your logo, and we have all this information. So if any of this changes, that's where you can edit it, and then you would click save in the bottom right. And then this has some styling and some changes that we've made, and those are going to be things that you won't be able to edit. So if you end up changing something in the footer and it doesn't look right, let us know and we'll help fix that. And then contact us. That's your form that shows up next to it in the footer, and then beneath that is your social media menu. So if you want to add things to the footer or the header, what you would do is click over here and select where you'd want it to go, and then add the widget, and it'll show up there, and I can select it and click save, and then I can drag it wherever I want. Or if I decide I don't want it, then I can delete it. Adding things to the header and the footer can mess up the way that your site looks, so it looks nice and clean right now, and some of those additions could make it look less good. So if you do end up messing with something and it looks weird, again, always feel free to talk to us about that, and we'd love to help fix anything like that. Next up is menus, and under menus, this is where you have your Facebook button in that footer down here. And so if you want to add additional social media into that menu, all you'd have to do is create another custom link and copy and paste this navigation label here. And where it says Facebook, change this out to say Twitter in both places. And then paste your URL here and click add to menu. Or if your Facebook URL changes again, that can be changed through here. And this is what will show up down here. But obviously we don't need that. And then click save menu if you make any changes. Under main menu, these are custom links, and then they just link within each little section. So within each section of your homepage, whatever this is titled, so let's see, insurance survey, it's whatever that section, when we were going through those sections on the homepage, it's whatever it's titled with that pound sign in front of it. And then the label is done through here. So that's all set up nice and good for you. And if you end up wanting to change any of those links and you get confused, or the section doesn't seem to match, or the section doesn't seem to be going where you think it should, let us know. We can help with that again. Click save menu if you make any changes, and then these can always be dragged around and rearranged in whatever way you'd like. But they're obviously set up in such a way that makes sense in order as you move your way down the page. Plugins, this is what I was talking about earlier, where they can be updated. This is where you can view all the plugins and add new ones. If you want to add new functions to your site, you can add a new plugin if that's something you're interested in. Under users, this is where your admin account is located, and if you want to change your password, you can scroll down, change your password here, and click update. You'll want to make sure it's super secure and a good password to keep your site safe. And then if you want to add a new user, all you'd have to do is click add new, and the email is required, so you'll have to have an email associated with the account. Copy and paste that password, and then make them an administrator, and they can log in using their email and password in the same way that you log in using your email and password. These items here, there's nothing really, we don't have tools or settings, there's nothing we need to talk about. Or custom fields, SEO. Foobox is used in your Foo Gallery. I don't think we're using Slider Revolution either, or Google Maps for that matter. So I think that's basically everything. I think we use those items on a lot of our sites, so we upload the site with those plugins, but let me double check and make sure we're not using this. Nope. So that's everything. That should be everything that you need to update on your site. If you run into issues or have questions, let us know and we'll be happy to help.